I'll get started here in just a minute. James, can you hear now? Shawan, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so he can't hear. Did he message you? I don't see anything in the group chat.
He did.
Okay. In the settings, usually where it says mute, the little up arrow, you can go in and kind of play with the settings. And can you hear now, James? Okay. Yes. Good. Okay. Well, I have 7 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and get started. And what tonight is kind of for, I'm recording, so for anyone that just came on, it's for anyone that couldn't make the meeting. I know everybody has, work and kids and everything going on. So it's really hard to get a large group together at the same time. So I appreciate all of you taking this time out of your evening. For those of you that have not worked with me, which I don't think that's anyone here, but I'm Dr. Howell, and I'm your professor this semester. This is actually one of my favorite courses because it's one of my research interests. So I am a proponent for social media use when it's used effectively and safely in education in the classroom. Some of you know each other because you've been in classes before, but this is just a nice way in an online environment to kind of put a name with a face and, the people that you're going to be working with and communicating with and collaborating with on projects. This lets you meet them virtually. I'm a very face-to-face people person, and so I love online classes for the flexibility, but I really miss that kind of human personal touch a little bit. So these sessions are kind of nice, and we'll just do it once this semester. So don't think that I'm gonna require you to put time out of your week each week to try to get on a synchronous session, because I know some of you do work in the middle of the night and at all times of the day, which is completely understandable. That's why we have an online program. So to kind of get started, we're only in week 2, and this is fast and furious with it being an 8-week session. Do you guys have any questions so far? Anything that doesn't make sense or that you've seen in the syllabus or anything that you want to talk about? Not everybody wants.
I wanted to ask you, last week there was an email that came out, and then it said open, and it was dismissed almost immediately, and it said something about extra credit, but the syllabus said no extra credit, so I wasn't sure.
An email came that said extra credit?
Yes. And so
24, you're going to take credit. So I think you only have one class in football, and that's social media. That's the way you want to do it. And also in the fall, you'll sit.
exactly.
Okay, I don't think they're talking to us.
Okay.
I don't.
So I don't know, maybe I don't know what it was. It was on.
You'll get credit.
Let's say 7 days ago, when I went back to look at it.
One of your.
It may not have been anything. It may have been an error.
Okay.
It said something about extra credit, and then it immediately said dismiss.
Oh.
So I couldn't open it up. So I didn't know if it was something I had missed, because when I looked at the syllabus, as usual, I mean, I didn't expect it because it says no extra credit. So I just wanted to make sure it wasn't something that I needed to see. So I just
I didn't purposefully send anything, and I haven't about
But I wanted to ask you,
David.
Have you ever looked on the person to them?
Okay. I keep muting him, but it keeps unmuting. So he has a little.
So I just wanted to make sure. I know you don't normally do extra credit, and it says it in the syllabus. So I just wanted to just make sure there wasn't something. So
yeah, no, we don't really have any opportunities for extra credit. Those of you that have worked with me, I'm pretty easygoing. As long as you communicate with me, I'll work with, your lives, and I completely understand. We have a few absent tonight. Some unexpected deaths, and then some kids things and that sort of thing. So I'm completely understandable when it comes to that. Just let me know. And my cell phone number is on the syllabus, so you can text me if it's something where you're leaving. But always take care of your family. Don't freak out or stress out about something, because this can be made up. I'll work with you and work around that. It just breaks my heart when I see those emails when something major is going on with your family or, your personal life that needs the attention right then. And so, I trust that you will communicate and be professional, and that's all I ask, and I'll definitely work with you. So, but most of you, I think I've had almost everyone before that's in this class now. So I know some people don't love group work. There will be a little bit of collaboration. I don't like to call it group work, but just collaborating with each other, because you can do it from afar. So I'm not requiring you to, get together and sit together or anything else. You can kind of collaborate within Google Docs, within some of the different apps in Google. We will delve a little bit into VoiceThread this semester. So those of you that have maybe used that I use it in one other class. It just kind of goes well with some other things. And then I'm going to be in Chicago for ISTE next week. So who knows what I'll come back with. I'm excited about that. Dr. Baker and I are presenting on virtual reality and, the use in the classroom there. So we're really excited. That's one of my favorite conferences, and I always come back just a little overwhelmed. But I will be there, but I'll be checking email and will, be available for y'all if you need anything. I know with it being week 2, there might not be a ton of questions, but it's kind of like week 4 in a long session. So that's why I try to do it early on, and also to let you see each other for those of you that are going to be working together. If you don't have questions or you don't want to ask something in front of everybody, I say open door policy, but it's more or less like an open phone policy, I guess, because you can call or text or do whatever. I am in the Stephenville office, so you can always come by my office. My kids were up there today helping me clean, and there's a ton of candy, and they're like, do your students never eat candy? I'm like, my students don't come see me. They said, because they don't like you. I said, I hope not. I said, it's because they're adults and they don't all live here. So now my children think that I'm a horrible person. I'm reading these texts. It says, okay, Diane, I'm sorry your audio is not working. If y'all can hear me, I think that mine is working now. I was having some issues this morning, and I'm not in a child's classroom. I teach the VIP kid Chinese students in the mornings. So this is my classroom. I was at work all day and decided to come home to do this. So y'all have questions? Everybody looks whipped. It's been a long week already, and it's only Wednesday, so I feel you.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of Avid.
Oh, fun. Oh, yeah. And you came on. That's great. You could have absolutely.
I told them that this was importante. So.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And
yeah.
We're missing, I think, 5 people. There were 2 that were last minute today, and a few who had, previously said something. So Monday was going to be a good day, and then it turned out that I got pulled into something else that night. So there were like 2 extra people that could meet Monday. So I had to move it to today. But it's good to see all of you. And does anybody have exciting summer plans or anything that's fun they want to share?
No.
I'm going on vacation tomorrow.
Where to?
To Orange Beach. We were supposed to go to Mexico, but then, the cartel started doing stuff, so we decided to go to Orange Beach to be safe.
Fun. Yes. Well, I do not have anything fun. I mean, I have conferences, so that's how I travel vicariously through my work conferences. But I'm a nerd, so that's fun for me. I would rather go do that than sit on the beach sometimes. But.
Right.
I'll be in Colorado next week.
Oh, really? On vacation or business?
Yeah, well, when you're taking 3 summer classes.
Yes, it's good.
Yes, vacation.
Yeah. Well, good. The weather should be good there.
Should be great.
Yes. Okay. Well, usually it just depends on the size of the class and if anybody has anything to say, but it's really just to kind of get a face with a name, and you'll appreciate that when you guys collaborate later. Just I know I do. When I see people's names, I always think of what they look like, and then you meet them and it's usually not the same. So like I say, I'm open to, call, text, email, whatever you want to do. If you email me and I don't reply within about a day, feel free to email me again. It's not bugging me because I'm pretty quick usually. So just with traveling, and they updated my computer, and bless their hearts, I love them to death, but I want my old computer back at this point because it had everything that I needed and it knew my life. So I'm working through that. But yes, you won't be bothering me, so don't feel like a pest if I don't reply to something, especially if it's like into 2 days. Definitely re-email me so that we can get that fixed up. But I like my Tarleton email. I just turned off the Blackboard mail because you have to go in there, and it's not being lazy, but I get the others on my phone really quick, and so I can reply to you and get you your answers, especially if you're working after hours and that sort of thing when you guys typically work. And in the Google Plus community, if you tag me, you can use the @ symbol and then start typing my name. I get the notifications anyway, but that'll send like a special notification, so I know that you're specifically asking me a question and not just a basic question for the whole class, or just putting something out there, a generalized topic. So you can just do the @ symbol and then start typing Julie Howe, and it should pop up since I'm in the community with y'all, and you can do that. But does everybody, you're able to get into the community? I know everybody was able to put their, I was having a little issue the other day, but my phone, I have to go get a new one. I don't know what's wrong with it. My kids, everybody else gets an upgrade before me, so it's old. And I had replied to some of the things, and they didn't post, but I don't think it's Google Plus. I think it's my phone. So I'm having some technical difficulties. I'm hoping to get all that fixed up before I leave on Sunday. So, but thank y'all for all posting in there, and it's nice to see your pictures and kind of meet everybody and get to know. And I see all the comments where somebody knows someone that works, at the same school district and stuff like that. So I think that's neat. And like I said, I love our online classes and working with grad students. I just like that little bit of a personal touch and, getting to know you guys on a little bit more of a personal level than just giving you a module each week and having you do work. So anything else? I don't want to keep y'all. I know you have busy lives and everything going on. So if you want to stay after, I'll stay on here for a couple minutes. If anybody wants.
Julie, Dr. Howe, Diane has a question on the chat.
Oh.
She said, on the research postings, are we supposed to post an article review each week?
It will be, let me look at the syllabus to make sure, the schedule to make sure. I think that it's almost every week. There's review of research. So not the week of the 4th of July. Okay, so it looks like all but 2 weeks there is. And then that very last week, the 6th through the 8th, it's kind of that short week finishing up. That's just an optional meeting if you want to talk to me about something. Usually no one does. They kind of know where they stand at that point. But that's why if you have questions, please contact me, as soon as possible. If you aren't sure about something, there are no dumb questions. I know that, I teach it and I've dealt with it. So if something seems just not understanding, then just let me know and we'll work through it. Because if you have that question, others probably have the same question. They just don't want to say anything. So it's best to just put it out there and we will work through it definitely. So Kristen and James are both in the same room, right? Are y'all in the same room or just the same house? Yes. So they're married and they sit like back to or face to face, however it is. And so it cracks the table. They make it work.
Right there.
I have a lot of respect for y'all because I could not work with my husband or live with him and take classes with him because we would probably not be married. So.
Well, he's my buddy, so
that's good. That is
yes, we do everything together almost.
That is awesome. I haven't.
Yes.
Mine's not my first husband either, so maybe I just can't get along.
Not my first go around either. I learned.
Does anybody else have questions or anything going on?
Are we supposed to, we're supposed to comment on the review of research, so on other people's postings, correct?
I was going to ask.
Yes, you will. Let me get in here. Sorry, I have 3 classes going on. I pulled all this up because I wanted to give you definite answers. So when you do your review of research, you will post You'll annotate, actually,
Doesn't say respond.
it does not. So no, you do not post, just on the
Google
collaborative.
Docs.
Yes, the collaborative Google Docs, and then you did that on the introductions. But on the review of research, you do not. So you'll just post yours, and that's just to kind of have a consortium of research so that you guys can see that. And then as we go through the class, we will touch base on some different aspects of social media, and usually someone does something in, in the news, and we're able to pull some of that into the class as well. So we build on that as well. But review of research is to more get you an area that you can go to and find any information that you want based on what other students have found. So that you're doing one portion of the work, and then we have this database kind of research to go to and look through and pull from.
So we are to connect our the research, the review of research to our collaborative document. So do we use the same resource or another resource that kind of corresponds?
It doesn't have to be connected. They're kind of similar, but the collaborative group project or collaborative project is more to go in and find resources together and share that information and then kind of discuss it. The review of research gives it that element of having some sort of research basis for the class, so that we can put that into the rubric, because you get some classes can sub for one another, and if there's not a research element, then it can't sub for some other courses. So that's where the review of research comes from. But then on the collaborative document, that is more for you to work collaboratively. And what we used to do is we used to come up with a social media policy, but there are so many out there, it's hard, you can't really recreate the wheel. I mean, they're very different, but it's older now, so everybody has their own policy in place. So on the collaboration, you just go in and you will work together to kind of find those resources. And then that's where I like to see infographics or links, videos, those sorts of like the more fun tasks that you can put into there, to those elements. And you'll address each question, and then you'll find a related resource. So that's where those outside resources kind of come in. And if you've taken some of the other classes, it's kind of similar to a key point entry, but it's more of, just a collaborative way of pulling in some stuff for social media use, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So,
happy birthday, James.
It's my birthday too. Whose birthday is it?
James. How do we
It's
say
my
it?
daughter's
Oh, well, happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
And
Happy
Carrie,
birthday, buddy.
James.
According to female years, I'm 28, and 28 again. Isn't that how that works?
email you.
29.
29. All right, I'm 29 now. So, but thank you.
Well, Carrie, happy birthday to you too.
Oh, and happy birthday to you too.
Hey, so what if we already posted some comments on people's? Is that like a really bad thing?
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, the more you can collaborate, the better. I just, depending on, the length of the class and what all we have going on, I know that the comments are sometimes hard if people wait till the last minute, not that any of y'all do that, to post something, then nobody posts comments on their posts. So that's kind of where I try to balance that a little bit. But yeah, you're always welcome to post or to collaborate or have a discussion. I encourage that as much as possible to do that. So, and we'll talk a little bit in your collaborative groups. You'll be with that group throughout the semester. So if you decide to meet like this, that's fine, but it's not going to be required. In some other classes, we do some different things, but this semester you will not be required to meet again virtually. There's no requirement. So it's just kind of up to you how you want to do your group work. If there's an issue, I know that every semester there's some people that work way ahead in the the week, and then others that, you know, stuff happens, or you're just a weekend warrior, like I like to call it, and that's fine. There's, you know, that's why you have a week to get everything in. So if there's any issues in your group, which there really shouldn't be because there's not a requirement for, you know, commenting or posting or anything else to one another, then just let me know. Because I know that, you know, everybody kind of works differently, and some people will email and say, you know, the second day of the week, and they're like, I've got all my stuff done and nobody else has posted, and that's because other people haven't even opened up the module folder yet. So, but that's fine. We need, you know, some of each type, and that's great. But for this course, it really it shouldn't pose any problems, you know, depending on when people post, because there's nothing that you have to do that relies on, you know, your other team member. It's more of just creating that collaborative document and bringing in those related resources, which change. And anything that I find, like in Chicago at the conference, then I'll share that out in the Google Plus community if there's something really cool. And if you see something, because I learn from y'all as well, that's, you know, one of my favorite things. And so if you guys have something, don't ever feel like you can't share it, or that, you know, I'm going to look at you funny, because I learn with y'all just as much every single semester, and, you know, it's part of what I love. So
I had some connection issues, and so I got on late, and you probably answered the question in the beginning, but I was going to ask, on the collaborative, does everybody need to post something, each member of the group, in each question? Is that how, or is that you just keep adding to as you see fit?
I want there to be, so this is kind of funny. It's what I want to see there is that each point question is addressed, but sometimes there's a question and there's really only one answer, or one answer. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to write the same thing over and over again. So at that point, you can add to or add a related resource, as long as you have a good rounded answer for each question with the related resources and that sort of thing. And that's why I think in the syllabus, or maybe in the module, I say I can see what everyone does, and I'm not like looking for anyone that's not, you know, pulling their weight. But just make sure if you're the last one, so that's kind of where the person that doesn't get in early in the week, you might have some additional information to add, and you might have to go look a little deeper because everyone's already added kind of the obvious type information. So just to make sure that you have a good rounded document and the different elements that are required in there. I don't want to see, you know, repetition, because there's really, you know, no point in that. But just try to, you know, share the work so that the first person, and I know there are some overachievers, and they're going to go in and enter, you know, a whole entire post on their own, but then just add to that and kind of pull from it. And that's where you can use some real world applications, any related resources that you can find, anything that kind of goes along with that, then you can add that in and pull that in. So that answer your question?
Thank you.
Really
yes,
long.
It did.
Long way. Anything else?
I have a question, and it's more about APA citation. Former English teacher, so MLA was all my thing. I was looking on the Purdue OWL website, and I still can't find. I was trying to cite on the SNS key point where I was talking about TED Talks and everything, and so I got it from that site. But there's no author, and on Purdue OWL they don't talk about an electronic source without an author.
Right.
So I wasn't quite sure how to cite that website.
So. And I don't expect you to go buy it. We have like an APA book that has that in there. So you can either email me and I'll send you that, or at least give credit. So like pulled from on this date, that sort of thing. And I think it's ND. I still use my APA book, so I'm not the APA expert by any means. But just, you know, as long as you're giving the credit. So a lot of times people will write their little hearts out and then there's no citation at all. And so to kind of give credit, and then we do use the APA format. And if you open a Word document, they have references in there. You can go to Word, and there's also an add-on in Google that'll reference it for you automatically. It'll create a citation. And I know that the websites are in there, whether there's an author or not, and it'll cite it for you automatically in APA format. And it does the italics and everything for you. So we are not a writing intensive course. So I do look at it, but I'm not going to pick out like if a certain word isn't capitalized or is capitalized when it's not supposed to be. I'm not narrowing it down to that point. I might say something, but I'm not going to knock off points. I really want to see that you have cited it, that you have attempted to put it in APA, because I know there are some really kind of unique situations with websites and anything really that you pull off electronically, unless it's a journal article that has all that information. It's kind of different depending on what you use for the citation. But there are some free Google apps that you can add on in Google if you're using Google Docs, and then in Word, there's the references section, and it'll add it for you as well. So those are a couple. EasyBib is one, but it charges, like there's only so much you can get for free, and then it charges you for certain elements. So I would not pay for anything by any means, because you can get them free. And if you have a major question, if it's something unique, just email me and I'll send you kind of the default citation, and you can enter your information in. Diane's asking how most are collaborating with your groups. And I know that may be different for each of you, and you may just kind of be, you guys can leave comments on your docs. I don't know how familiar you are with Google Docs. Has everybody used Google Docs?
Yes.
I know if you've been in our classes. So you can leave comments in there. You can also use Google Hangouts, because, you know, since you have the Google tools, and Google Hangouts doesn't have to be a video. It can be like a group texting message. And I know that in the last class that was used a lot. So they kind of used it as a group text. You know, there's GroupMe, there's a lot of different ways to collaborate. But if you want to have the comments stay within the documents, then you can add them in Google Docs and just comment there. So there are some different options. Zoom, Skype, if you want to meet collaboratively, synchronously like we are. Okay, so Diane is someone that works early in the week. So she has already entered some information. So whoever's in her group better step it up. And so just wondering, you know, yes, she is an overachiever. So, and she's one of my bosses. So this is, you know, I am trying to be an overachiever as well, because this is, I was like, you're going to take my class. That is awesome. So it's exciting, but you have a lot of knowledge in this class. And I'm excited to work with all of you, because everybody kind of brings that different component to the table. And we have just a really, I mean, some years it's all teachers and they're all elementary and middle school. And this class, we have really kind of a broad spectrum of people who work in different areas and in the business sector and all sorts of things. So I'm really excited to see what you guys kind of bring to the table in the collaborative docs, and then the review of research as well. And all of this will kind of culminate at the end, and you'll have a really good resource to take with you if you have any interest in doing research, or if you're in a classroom and different things. I know that people have in the past taken it to their school board or school district principal and had some really good ideas that they got from this class to implement at their school district, or, you know, at their building, campus, or whatever. So it is worthwhile, and it's a good thing, and it's ever changing. So it's funny how just every single year there's so much that changes that we're dealing with and kind of looking at with social media. And some days I just want to throw my phone away and take my kids' devices and throw them out the window. So I by no means love it all the time. It's just, it can be a great tool and a learning tool if we learn to use it effectively and efficiently. So anyone else? And if you do want to get with your groups and kind of say, hey, this is when I work, this is when I work, that way you don't have people freaking out, wondering where you're at, then that will be good. So thank you, Diane. I'm sorry your audio is not working tonight. I appreciate y'all. I really do. I know how frustrating it is to see I'm in an online flexible class and now you want me to take time out of my day and meet you. But I enjoy it and I like meeting y'all, and I hope that it's beneficial when you work with your groups to have that face with a name. And just let me know if you need anything. I'm here for y'all, and I will gladly help, answer any questions or provide any input if you see fit. Those of you that are graduating at the end of the semester, I will be hooding you this summer, so I'm excited for those of you that are walking the stage. Dawn, I know you're about ready, right? Are you?
I'll be December.
December, yes. I think we have 4 or 5 August graduates, so we're really excited about that. But Kayla, you have a sleepy one, it looks like. So, well, I will stop recording, and then if anyone, I'm going to stop now.